Before we get started, does anyone want to get out? Consider this mercy. I am inevitable.
What's up, and welcome to the Comic Blast podcast. I am half of the host. Is that right?
Half of the host?
I am one of the hosts. I'm one of the hosts of the Comic Blast podcast. Grayson is my other host, who is connected to me through the internet right now.
I'm thousands of miles away in Thailand.
Hey, that drive feels like thousands of miles away.
I'm sure it does. I mean, you're the one who drives every week, but I sit here and just wait.
So, Grayson, we've been gone for about 2 weeks now. Why don't you fill in the people and all of our listeners on what's been going on?
So our lives suck. That's pretty much it. No, no. I mean, we still we're still going okay. But with this whole school has started, as many of you know, it's the fall, and there's been a lot of changes going on with our schedules, including work and school and a lot of other obligations. We're both very, very busy people, and so the past 2 weeks we have just not been able to coordinate a time to be able to record. And even now we're doing something to modify. We're actually, so just to make it clear for everyone, we are not next to each other. We are currently FaceTiming, FaceTime audioing. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. To hear each other, and then we're just using our audios from our mics at separate locations to hopefully add on top of each other, and then it'll come out semi-okay, hopefully.
We're hoping. This is our first time doing that. We've recorded every podcast in person up until this point, which is, it's kind of sad, but at the same time, this is a little bit more convenient. And I don't think we're done with recording in the studio or Comic Blast HQ.
No, absolutely not. We put way too much time and effort into that set over the summer for it to just go to waste. But it saves Keenan a lot of gas money and also a lot of time, because by the time he drives to my house, it's about an hour. Then it takes us, usually, because we just get so caught up in talking.
Yeah.
It usually takes about 2 hours for us, 2.5 hours even, to just start recording, or to take up the entire time of recording and just talking. Then he's got to drive another hour back, and then he still has to edit the thing. So so hopefully this will be a bit more time convenient. We started FaceTiming 20 minutes ago. My Wi-Fi shut off right before we started recording this, so if this happens again, I'm going to be very upset.
It's pretty consistent with how our lives have been the past 2 weeks. So
yeah, exactly. Give him some examples of what's happened to you.
The first,
I think you got the short end of the stick.
The first thing that happened is that we're actually planning to record, and I think the weekend that we were going to record, we were never planning on taking a break. My wheel just flew off of my car. On my way to school.
I remember you came to my house and you were like, so I don't think we're going to be able to record. I'm going to be able to drive here next weekend. We'll record over the internet, try something different, because the axis on my car for the wheels is just really wobbly and it's drifting. And then a day, or I think it was the next day after you texted me, and you're just like, dude, my tire just flew off my car, and it's my car is just is incredibly damaged.
Let me paint a picture. I barely got down the road from my house. Thankfully, it's early morning on the way to school, and then all of a sudden my car just dropped, and then it started turning on its own, and I was like, what is happening? I'm like, what just happened? And then all of a sudden, I see the wheel flying down the street. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's what happened.
I just imagine you're just oh, it makes sense.
Yeah.
You're not freaking out. You're just
just rolled into somebody's yard. Which
goes through their window.
Yeah, I mean, looking back on it now, it's kind of a funny story to tell. But yeah.
The same thing happened to my dad. He was one time, we had a old Jeep, and he was just driving down the road, and all of a sudden he's just driving, and the wheel just flies off, and he just sees it just go up this hill, and it's just riding next to him as he's just looking at it.
You're like, is that my wheel?
Yeah.
Not 100%
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, that's what happened. It's about like with the body part and painting and just fixing everything. It's like $1,200.
Yeah.
So,
which, speaking of money, you also Keenan, like don't let him fool you. This is like when we talk about busy lives, like Keenan is probably the busiest guy I've ever met in my entire life because he works like over 40 hours a week. And is that about right? You work over 40 hours,
yeah,
right?
it's usually like at minimum 40.
Yeah, and you're also a full-time student. So I don't know how you're alive, to be honest. Like I'm pretty sure you should be 6 feet under the ground
By
in a
Saturday.
coffin.
Yeah, by Saturday I'll be dead again. So it's just I just get re-erected or resurrected every Sunday. Re-erected.
Yeah. Like I mean, because thankfully you get Sundays off, but like today you were sick, so you just got to stay home and play Spider-Man.
This is great, man. It was a great day.
It sounds like the best day ever.
Yeah.
Speaking of Spider-Man, we should talk about our first.
Yeah, that's a good segue. So over the week on Wednesday, the highly anticipated JJ Abrams and Henry Abrams Spider-Man comic was released. I kind of forgot about it. Kind of flew under the radar for me until you reminded me.
Yeah, like I remember I was like, oh, I think that comes out in like a couple of weeks, and then I just saw like online this comic book store that I follow was just like, oh, new comic book day, get the new Abrams Spider-Man comic, and I was like,
right.
Oh, I gotta go read that. So yeah, I read it and I messaged you and I was like, dude, you have to read this. This is insane.
Yeah.
So we have not discussed about like our thoughts on this comic. I think it's been this Wednesday. It'll be a week. We're currently recording this on a Monday. And so what are your thoughts on this comic?
Here are my thoughts. Okay, so let me set the table with this real quick. I was really excited for this comic, even though I just said that I completely forgot about it. It's just life happens and you forget. But when it got announced, I was really excited because if you know me, I'm a huge JJ Abrams fanboy, and Spider-Man is my favorite character in any medium. Yeah. So, I was pretty excited
Match
for
made
it.
in heaven.
Yeah. Overall, I think it was a pretty good start to this limited series that they're going to be doing. I wasn't blown away by it, so I could say it's a little bit of a disappointment for me. It does. Are we talking spoilers in this?
We'll just say this before you get into spoilers. If you want to read the issue, tune out now. We'll try to put some like a timestamp or something in the description. Just if you're driving, go ahead and pause it. If you don't want to be spoiled, if you want to read it on your own.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna get into spoilers in 3, 2, 1. All right, discuss your.
Got it. So I think people are pretty much discussing spoilers online everywhere now, but the main thing that happens pretty early on, obviously, is MJ's death.
Like the 4th page, she just gets stabbed by Cadaverous is the name of the new villain. Yes.
And it's a little bit of a risk, but it's not something that hasn't been done before in previous comics. Same thing with MJ and Peter having a child. That's something we've seen before. I kind of see that they're going right now. They haven't done anything particularly like new. Nothing mind-blowing other than they have a brand new villain and Peter loses an arm. So
well, like the whole thing is like it's I feel like they kind of intentionally misled audiences, which I think a lot of people are really upset about, especially Spider-Man purists. Which I mean, you and I don't know if we're Spider-Man purists, but we definitely care about the core of Spider-Man as a character.
We care, but we're also open to a lot of changes.
Yeah, exactly. And so when I saw this, I was like, okay, the cover is Spider-Man and MJ. Yeah. It's going to be about Spider-Man and him and her going to try to figure out who this new Cadaverous villain is, like what his whole origin is, and kind of a new fresh take on the story. Nope, not at all. That is not what the story is about.
No.
It's literally like it pulls like a straight up like almost an Avengers Endgame on you, or it's like
that's a good comparison.
Yeah, it's like here's this very small event that happens. Spider-Man's like beaten down and like broken by this new villain. He has no idea who it is.
Right.
The city's under attack. MJ just gets murked and thrown off a bridge, which I thought was kind of reminiscent. I was like, oh, okay, they're kind of echoing the Gwen thing.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Which I really liked, but I was like, oh my God. Like I saw that panel and I was just like, holy crap, no way. Like I was like, I mean, it's been done before, but I just was not expecting
very
that with
early
this
on
series.
too.
Yeah, like maybe the first 5 pages it happened.
Sure.
And then it just after that happens, it just says like what 14 years later.
12, I think.
12, yeah. We also see like Peter with his son, who's like this little redheaded kid named Ben, which is fitting. I like that.
I do like that too.
I was joking with my dad though. I was just like, "What's up with all of these like these famous characters having sons named Ben?"
Yeah.
Because I don't know. It's just like an interesting thing to me.
Ben is back in.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good name.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see like him holding Peter's hand at like the funeral, and you're like, okay, this is clearly their son. And then it like flashes forward and it shows Ben like at high school.
Yeah.
He's like kind of self-dependent and on his own. Like he's making his own breakfast and stuff. And then
he's kind of a loner.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's definitely alone. Like, I mean, he very much echoes, his dad. Like father, like son, I guess. But when I was reading this, so like there's this kid that's getting bullied. And Ben like stops the bully and like throws him through a door.
Yeah.
And when I saw this, I was like, okay, it's clear that he has powers. Like they're just making that like apparent right off the bat.
Yeah.
But then they make it this whole thing later on where it's just like he's freaking out that he has powers that like he didn't know. And I was like, wait,
yeah,
what? I thought that we just were like setting up that he just was super strong and like can probably stick to walls and stuff. But I guess he didn't know that, so I don't know. I feel like there was a little continuity error with that, but
I didn't catch this in the comic anywhere. But did it ever establish in the story that Ben knew that Peter was Spider-Man?
Apparently not.
Yeah,
which I think is really odd. Yeah, because like that's why it's such a big reveal at the end of the comic when Aunt May, who's somehow still alive, she's like 80 or something, and I was like, man, like she is just still alive and kicking. Total opposite of Spider-Man PS4. Rest in peace. But I was like, all right, and then she just sends him to the attic, and he's like, oh yeah, there's Spider-Man's costume, which apparently he just did not know about. So I guess this entire time he just thought like Peter was just this normal dude who just like got attacked by a cadaverous or whatever. It's a weird thing to hide, but maybe there was tension between them. I think Ben is about 16 or maybe 15, so he was probably like 3 at the time.
Sure.
So maybe he just like he didn't really know, but I don't know. I really like the direction they're taking with Peter, where he's just like kind of like it's almost like an Old Man Logan kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where it's just like he's beaten down and broken, and like he's lost an arm. He has a beard. I don't know what he's doing with his career currently at this time. He's like traveling the world, and he never like sees his son hardly. Like he gets his son out of detention, and that's like they have that kind of this argument where it's clear that Ben definitely blames Peter for MJ dying.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what the whole deal is with Peter, but he seems like he just travels the world for something that we're not really sure about.
Sure.
And there's also like one panel with Cadaverous where there's like, I think it's MJ in like some tank or something.
Tank. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so is MJ may not be dead, but like what's he do? Like they tell you nothing about Cadaverous.
No, not at all.
I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know what he's up to. I don't know what his plan is, like where he came from, anything. Like he's just like this guy in a big black and red mech suit who's like has a robot voice.
This whole thing the whole thing is kind of conflicting to me because it is not that different from a lot of things that have happened.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm very surprised. Like I'm very surprised with the direction that they took for the whole story. It just was not what I was expecting at all. But at the same time, it isn't like surprising in a sense that, wow, we've never seen this done before.
Yeah, it definitely takes a lot. It takes stuff from a lot of different places. I think the biggest thing is really his son.
Sure.
He's had a daughter, May,
Sure.
It has been like that she's had powers before, and especially like older '90s comics and stuff. But it's I just think it's interesting to see like his son, whether they'll do like a father-son team up where they both be like Spider-Man. I'm sure that's gonna happen. Like they're gonna team up against Cadaverous or something like that. I don't know. For me though, it kind of exceeded my expectations though, just because I was so caught off guard that I was just like, this is so new and different, and like there's so many Spider-Man comics that focus on Peter now that this is almost like a really fresh take to see like, oh, Peter's not going to be Spider-Man in this comic. Like this is going to be about
Ben.
His son kind of dealing with that whole aftermath and like how far time has jumped.
It's definitely different from what's going on currently in a lot of the Spider-Man runs.
Yeah, especially with like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and all these other comics which we've talked about before, but yeah, I'm interested to see like how this series goes.
I think it will develop
forward.
pretty well overall.
Yeah, I think JJ Abrams is like, I think people are critiquing it too hard because people are really hating on this comic on the internet.
Sure.
As usual. But but like I think I'm definitely giving it a chance, and I'm curious to see like. JJ Abrams is a fantastic writer and director in my opinion, so we'll see how it goes. I don't know if it's an issue per month or if it's like going to be every 2 months or something, so I
hope it's not 2 months.
But yeah, I know.
I'll phase out, like I'll forget about it.
Yeah, because it's only 5 issues, so it's gonna be a pretty short run.
That sucks though, because I mean like all the longer runs are just like the stories aren't that great, and then the better ones that I've read lately, like we talked about Symbiote Spider-Man, and I'm like, that was actually really good. Like that was a really solid story.
That was only 5 issues, right?
Yeah, and I'm just like, I wish we could get more of this as opposed to everything else that's going on currently, because there's so many different Spider-Man comics right now. So if this if this starts taking off and the story is compelling, I'll be pretty disappointed if it's only a 5 issue series.
Yeah, I mean, I think it can. I think it's confirmed to be a 5 issue series, but like I think you can get a lot done in that. It's gonna be hard to see. I don't know when. I'm trying to figure out. Okay, yeah, so Spider-Man #2. I wish they just didn't call it like Spider-Man. I wish they would have called it like Spider-Man Cadaverous or something.
Sure.
But it's Spider-Man #2 hits stores October 16th.
Okay.
That's what it says.
Every month.
And it says, I'm trying to see if I can read 12-year time jump. No. I'm just trying to see if it's going to be 5 issues or not. I think it is.
Probably. I know they confirmed that it was just like a limited run. It wasn't anything.
Yeah, it's definitely a limited run. Anyway, that's our thoughts on the new Spider-Man comic. We wanted to talk about that. Because Spider-Man is our bread and butter, and we talk way too much about it. So let's move on to something else.
Yeah, let's talk about some breaking news that's going on today. There's a lot of Batman news going on around the internet. More recently, we have confirmation that Jonah Hill is in talks for a villain role in Matt Reeves' Batman film.
Yes.
Pretty interesting. And then I'll go ahead and throw out there right now that Jeffrey Wright, who's a phenomenal actor. Seen him on Westworld. Good. Seen him in The Hunger Games.
He's gonna be the Watcher in What If?
Yep.
For Marvel.
So he is actually confirmed as Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and start. Like first of all, the Jeffrey Wright casting, I love it. I think it's like a super good casting. I think I think people are, no matter what, people are going to get upset because he's like, oh, he's not white or whatever. But I'm like, I don't think it really matters. There's some cases where it's like sometimes it matters and sometimes it doesn't. And this is a case that I'm like, I don't think it really matters. And Jeffrey Wright is so good. I think he fits the Commissioner Gordon feel, and I just would love to see his dynamic with Robert Pattinson's Batman. Like
100%.
I'm so in for this movie right now.
This movie is turning out to be like, it's almost like a Suicide Squad, where the casting news just gets you excited. Every little bit of news that comes out for this film gets you excited. Mm-hmm. So we're off to a really strong start, obviously, with Robert Pattinson, and then Jeffrey Wright. That's a very major character in the Batman universe. And then Jonah Hill potentially going to be playing a villain. There's a lot of people trying to cast him as the Penguin, but
some people say Penguin, some people are saying Riddler.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with
either one.
Yeah. Personally, I think I'd honestly would rather when I think of Penguin, I think of that kind of deep Welsh accent, or is it Welsh? It's like they're from it's like that really deep British accent that's like, who's a character that I can think of? It's a certain dialect from Britain. I feel so uncultured right now.
It's less proper.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like the gritty kind of gangster version of but that's how he sounded in the Arkham games.
Sure.
So I feel like I'd like to almost kind of like Andy Serkis a little bit. I don't know. I'm trying to think
he does have that kind of
almost like Tom Hardy was in a movie where he had an accent like that. I don't know. I think people can kind of get what I'm trying to say. I wish I could tell you a concrete example. Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know. Seeing Jonah Hill just kind of if he's talking in a normal voice would just be kind of weird as Penguin. But I think actually now that he's been in. Wait, first of all, he's lost a ton of weight, which nothing but respect for him. That's
right.
He used to be a very, very big dude, which he did it for a couple of roles, purposefully. I think there was that one with Miles Teller.
War Dogs.
Was it War Dogs? Yeah, he gained a lot of weight,
Yep.
and then he lost it all back again, which was really cool. But I think he'd also be a really good Riddler. So, I don't know. I think this movie. I forgot. There was a ton of villains in this movie. There's gonna be Mad Hatter, Penguin, Two-Face, Catwoman.
It sounds like an Escape from Arkham type deal.
Yeah. I'd almost kind of want it to be a gauntlet almost, where it's he's oh yeah, fight this villain, then fight this villain. But
yeah.
I mean kind of he's going through a detective case, because I've heard that this is going to be a very noir detective film. Yeah. And I think it'd be cool if he's he's figuring out this case, and as he's figuring out this case, it leads him on kind of a trail, a breadcrumb trail towards past these villains, where he's he has to get information out of these, or they're tied to this whole thing, ultimately leading to a big villain. Maybe they could keep it under wraps and make it this kind of surprise villain.
Cool.
I hope it's not the Joker. I hope it's something kind of different.
Right.
Because obviously with Joker coming out,
soon,
and Suicide Squad stuff and Jared Leto, I think Batman needs to kind of get away from Joker for a little bit.
Agreed. 100%.
And he's got so many great rogues.
That's the thing, is that there's so many good villains for the Batman that haven't been on screen, or at least done well.
Yeah. Oh man, what I would do for a really good Mr. Freeze, or Man Bat, or Clayface. Oh man, Clayface would be sick. You could do some cool stuff with Clayface.
I feel Mr. Freeze will never be touched again, just because of Arnold. It just seems like one of those villains that they're just afraid to just mess with, because of just I guess the bad reputation.
I think the villains that I definitely don't want them to do are, like I said, Joker. I'd rather them avoid Bane. I think that's still too soon.
For sure.
I'd rather them avoid Scarecrow and Ra's al Ghul.
Pretty much everything done before.
Yeah, pretty much. I think I can make a few exceptions. I wouldn't mind seeing Poison Ivy again, and Catwoman again, Two-Face again. Those are villains that I think we could get away with seeing them.
Right.
Once more, or in a different variation, but things that we've seen kind of done badly, or that have we've kind of have a ruined image of, or just something that we've seen so many times. I think we should get away from that, because Batman just has so many villains that he could do. So I'm very pleased with this casting.
Definitely. I think Jeffrey Wright is the most exciting part about this. They're taking this movie seriously, and I'm just really excited. I think they start filming the beginning of 2020, with a release date of 2021, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Sounds familiar to me, but
yeah,
God,
I remember it's got pushed back a lot, but it's gonna feel like this is gonna be such a long journey from this movie being announced and everything,
right?
Because it was announced like kind of when like Batman v Superman,
2016,
ended.
yeah,
and it was gonna be a totally different movie, but like it's very much like the journey of Man of Steel, where like Man of Steel originally was gonna be the sequel to Superman Returns, and then it kind of got scrapped and then like redone again with Zack Snyder and all this stuff. So, but I really hope it pays off in the end.
Same here. Other Batman news that we want to get to today that is news and teased is a new Batman game potentially coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So is it WB Montreal?
So what happened is I got a lot of this information from my good friend Caboose EK. If you guys don't know him, please go subscribe to him on YouTube and follow him on Twitter. He is a very good friend of mine. He is a lot bigger than we are when it comes to that stuff, but he's great. He covers Mortal Kombat, Injustice, Spider-Man, Batman. Like, he covers a lot of comic book related stuff. He also does like a lot of commentating for like fighting stuff. This past weekend he did a finals tournament for Mortal Kombat. Anyway, he was covering some of the news, and some of his videos were saying how they showed this video on Twitter. WB Montreal did for the 80th anniversary of Batman, which was 2 days ago, I believe. And they were showing like this Bat logo on the side of the building, and this is the first time that they've tweeted in 4 years.
Right.
And then in this video, there's like these flashes of these like almost like broadcast logos.
Yep.
There's like 4 of them. 3 most people aren't really sure about, and then the 4th one is pretty obviously what people think is the Demon's Head from the League of Assassins. Mm-hmm. So there's been rumors about WB Montreal making games for like some Batman or DC related game for a while. There was rumors that they were making a Suicide Squad game that was going to be similar to like Destiny, and it got scrapped. And then there was another one where like it was going to be set in a futuristic Gotham with Damian Wayne as the main Batman, and you were going to be on like the Bat bike or the whatever you want to the Bat cycle, the whatever, and it was going to be like him fighting the Court of Owls, but there's rumors that it's going to be like with this new game, which possibly may even get announced as this podcast comes out, because there is a state of play, a PlayStation state of play tonight? On the 24th, Tuesday.
Okay.
And there's a lot of hype for like The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah. But
there's also like PlayStation has been infamous, whatever you want to call it, depends on your perspective, of being tied with WB games. They're always like partnered with them. Like Arkham Knight got these exclusive skins. And all of this other stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance it'll get announced tomorrow, today, if you're listening on the day that this is coming out. But I'm pretty hyped because it's been like over 4 years since a Batman game has come out, and like I just felt like it's been so long since I've had like my good like DC Batman fix.
Yep.
So I'm so ready for like whatever they're gonna do. It's been a long time coming, and it's gonna be crazy to see. Like the last project that WB Montreal made was Batman Arkham Origins, which I thought was highly underrated. So it'll be 2013. So it'll have been 6 years since that game came out.
Right.
It came out or almost 7, and then since Arkham Knight came out was 4 years. So I don't know. A lot of the stuff right now is pure speculation, but either way, I'm excited.
I think something definitely is in the works. I'm really excited for a new Batman game as well. I don't really care for the idea of doing a Damian Wayne story.
Yeah, so I think that was like scrapped. They were like, all right, let's not do that.
I'm afraid, like, when it comes to this stuff, I'm always afraid that they're going to, like, when it comes to filmmaking or video game developing, I'm always afraid that they're going to try too hard to be different from everything else that's come out in the past. So, yeah, hopefully we don't see anything
I wish
drastic.
it was Batman Beyond.
But,
I
would be on board for that for sure.
Yeah, I think that would be super cool, especially like I feel like right now we're living in like this weird age of like the revamping of cyberpunk,
Yeah.
And so like I think it started with Blade Runner 2049, and now like it's
everywhere
Cyberpunk
now.
2077, and like there's all these games that are having like a lot of like, you think of so many movies that have like synth soundtracks that are very electronic.
Yep.
And kind of have that whole cyberpunk feel to them. There's so many like television shows. There's like the Altered Carbon TV show that came out on Netflix. And even like I was playing Borderlands 3, and they have like all of this like cyberpunk stuff. Like there's an entire city that's, I'm like, no, this is essentially just Blade Runner. So it's like making like a comeback, which I'm totally fine with. Cyberpunk is probably one of my favorite genres, probably because of Batman Beyond, now that I subconsciously like think about that.
Sure.
And I think it would be really cool, especially with Batman Beyond having like, I think the 20th anniversary this year. But it doesn't seem like that's going to be likely. So, it would be cool if in the future to get a Batman Beyond video game.
Yeah, I think they should be working on multiple projects. Like that whole idea of a Suicide Squad game, that kind of intrigues me a little bit. But
yeah,
there's a ton of things that they can do. I tried to get my Batman fix through Injustice 2, and I didn't really love it.
Yeah. Did you even beat the story?
No, it was really hard for me to get through it, but I did watch all the clips online.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
But yeah, it takes a lot of time. There's a lot of grinding through, through the whole story. So I did see that. I think it's Arkham Knight is free to play on PlayStation right now. So with like the news of this and then that being free to play, I'm kind of getting excited to just jump back into a Batman game.
But I think with the Batman movie and like this game and stuff, it's like
finally getting DC.
Yeah, like DC stuff. Yes.
Got the Joker movie coming out in 2 weeks, which blows my mind. Cannot believe it's that soon.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for us to review the Joker.
Yeah,
that's gonna be. It's like I'm excited for it now, just because it's like.
It's
I remember when it got announced and stuff, but it's like, now that it's closer, I'm like, finally. Like, I haven't been in the movie theaters because, first of all, I'm just so busy, and also money. Although you have that movie pass thing, that Regal pass.
Yeah.
But I haven't been to the movies since the second time I saw Far From Home, which was like the day after it came out.
Jeez, it's been like 2 months.
I know.
More than
it's
2
been
months.
Over 2 months, almost 3 months. Like, I want to see. I can't wait to I want to see a comic book movie. And there's like, it's not even that I don't want to go to the movies. Like I want to go. Like, there's all these movies I want to see. Like, there was this new movie called Villains that came out, and Ad Astra. There was the movie Ready or Not. Like, all of these movies that like really intrigue me, but I'm just like, dude, I don't have the time or the money.
This is me every single day. Okay, so keep in mind, I have unlimited movies at Regal. So I should be seeing as many movies as that I want. And every day I'm like really motivated. I get up and I'm like, I'm going to see a movie tonight. And then by the time I get off of work, I'm like, I just want to go lay down. I'm like, I'll just watch something on Netflix and then go to bed.
They need like those really nice theaters near us, the ones that have like the recliners and stuff. Because I remember when I saw Spider-Verse for the first time. So that day, man, what a great movie theater experience. Like, God, so good. So I went to see it with a couple of my buddies in North Carolina. Yeah. And when we got there, like, we got some dinner, and everybody was like, I think Cole was like, you guys want to go see Spider-Verse? And I was like, yes, please. And so we drove there, and that was like the night before it came out. There was a guy dressed up as Miles, who was like really legit costume. Yeah. And then I remember like we got in there and we had to reserve our seats. So, and they were like $12 for a ticket, but it was so nice. It was a full-on recliner. Yeah. And we like got in it, and I got like a cup of coffee to help wake me up, and I just got to lay back and relax and watch Spider-Verse. And the sound in there was amazing, and like you weren't close to anybody. There was massive aisles. It was fantastic. So I wish they had that here so badly, because we just have like
1980s seats.
Yeah, it's bad. Like, and you can't lean back or anything. Like, it's just so uncomfortable. Like, I shift so much in the seat when I'm in the theater.
Yep. Same. It's tough, man. Yeah. Tough life we live.
Yeah, we're just so broken down and beaten. Please send us money. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I feel that. So let's get into some news that came out over the past 2 weeks. So we're just going to touch up on some topics that came out while we were gone, and give our brief opinions on everything. There's quite quite a few things that happened during our absence. The most notable one, I think, is RDJ possibly making an appearance in the Black Widow film. What are your initial thoughts when you hear a headline like that?
Well, from surface value, I'm like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
But then when I read deeper into it, apparently it's a deleted scene from Civil War.
That's exactly what I thought it would be.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, well, they're not getting him back. But at the same time, even then, I'm like, we need to
let it go.
We need to move away. Yeah, we need to let it go. And especially, it's a Black Widow movie, and there's all these characters in it that I'm like, is there really a point? Like, I maybe there's a good plot reason for it. I don't know. It's set between Civil War and Infinity War, but it's hard to say, and I'm just like, I don't know.
I wouldn't doubt that it's like some quick scene that happens before the title hits.
Yeah.
Before the Marvel Studios logo hits or something like that.
Oh.
And then it's like,
That's
and
a
then
good
it
point.
takes off. I'm sure I'm 100% sure it's like a deleted scene. There's no way RDJ came back to film anything.
Oh,
for
no,
this,
definitely not.
which is frustrating. I think the most frustrating part is I know that they're going to put whatever scene it is, they're going to put it in the marketing material for this movie because they will market the heck. Like, any chance that they get to like mention Iron Man in one of their films for marketing, they do it. Yeah, it's like every time.
Yeah.
So that
you're not wrong.
It's like, it's nothing to get too mad about, but it's like you said, we need to get to a point where we're moving past this, and we need to start really embracing where the MCU is heading right now, especially with Spider-Man dropping out, which was I'm kind of like concerned about the MCU as a whole, anyways, for the future of it. And I really was like holding on to the idea that, well, we got Spider-Man, and that's going to be like the main thing that I'm drawn to. And now we have a little bit lesser known characters, or maybe it's just some characters that haven't had the chance to be developed that well yet. Yeah. But I'm still excited for this movie, but it's like you said, people use that headline as, oh my God, RDJ is going to come, have a big role in this film.
If it was a big role, he would have been there at SDCC and would have been there at D23 and
promoting it.
He wasn't. Like, it's going to be about Natasha and Yelena and like David Harbour's character.
It's definitely not necessary, and I almost feel like when they were writing the script for this movie, at some point in time, somebody was like, "How can we get a clip from Civil War to put RDJ in this just because?" Just to draw like interest, or maybe just help establish that maybe they're using it to help establish or help the audience know that this is taking place like right after Civil War.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. That may be like one of the,
because people may be confused, where she is in all of this.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair point. Like maybe it'll say like it kind of address like the events right after Civil War, and then like I bet you it'll be some deleted scene where it's like it's talking about like how the people broke out of the thing, especially like right at the end of Civil War, and then it'll cut to the logo, and then like it'll jump to
and that's the last we see of them.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a big like any more than a couple of minutes.
Agreed, 100%.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, I don't have any really more thoughts on that whole thing, I guess. To address like your concerns with the MCU, like I'm not really concerned with the MCU right now. But I think what I'm most excited about is not really the movies, but more so the shows that are going to be on Disney Plus, so with Falcon and Winter Soldier and all that. So
that's weird that's where most of my excitement is at.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, there's like all of the new shows that they're doing are like I'm really excited about. Other than like, that, and then I'd probably say like the most excited I am for a movie is Doctor Strange 2, and then like Blade.
Yeah, you're kind of like waking me up now to this, or like you're kind of like addressing my concerns about the MCU and making me feel better.
Yeah,
because I kind of forgot about Doctor Strange until you mentioned it, and I'm like, oh my God, I love Doctor Strange.
Yeah, and like there's still Black Panther 2, and we've got like the Moon Knight show, and then eventually when they do Blade, and still got Guardians of the Galaxy 3 down the line. There's a lot to, and 4, like we've got the new Thor movie. So there's still a lot. We have a lot to hang on to with the MCU, despite our little boy Spidey being gone. But it's okay. I wish I did not say little boy. I regret saying that. Yeah, that's not what I meant to say.
I wonder when the third Spider-Man film's gonna come out. I think they're gonna take a lot of time to try to figure out what they're gonna do.
Probably.
That
yeah.
sucks.
I think they're gonna focus on.
We'll probably see him in a Venom movie before
and
we see a solo Spider-Man movie.
I guarantee you, he will be in a post-credit scene for the next Venom movie.
Just as long as they don't shove him into like a third act action scene, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just imagining it right now, and I'm already groaning. I'm like, oh, God.
Hey, we got Andy Serkis directing it. Hopefully,
dude, they're gonna put him in Morbius. He's like, "What are you, some kind of vampire?" And he's just like, he can't mention Tony Stark or anything. Like, you think they're gonna have to like redo his suit?
I think that's still like technically owned by Sony. Like all that. I don't know. That's a good question. Like, what exactly is Marvel Studios' property in all of this?
That's where it gets so hard to do, and that's why I'm like, honestly, I think it'll be a while before they do anything.
I mean, they'll give him a new suit regardless because.
Oh yeah, because
toys
marketing.
Yeah,
toys. They're like, say goodbye to that black and red suit. Say hello to the. I don't know.
It's a new symbiote suit, probably.
Purple suit. Actually, I'd be down with a purple suit. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, that's enough for the RDJ talk. I don't know how we got back to Spider-Man so quickly.
Yeah,
we just do that on this podcast.
My brain instantly reverts to Spider-Man whenever I just
when we go blank. Yeah, 100%. Real quick, now that we're speaking of Spider-Man, I think I'm getting my Spider-Man hot toy this week. I think it's supposed to be coming in the mail.
Well, you gotta drive
the hour.
Get that just so I can just take it from you. You're gonna get here, and I'm just gonna.
Whenever I go out of town, I'll drop them off for sleepovers.
Yes. I'm just gonna I'm gonna put. Oh no. You know what? I'm gonna put them on top of my Spider-Man PS4 console. And just and then oh my God.
I kind of have
beautiful.
I have like a shrine, like a Spider-Man shrine in my room, basically, where everything Spider-Man is on a wall, and that's where
I want to do that so badly. Like in my corner, I have like all of this Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah.
And like I want to be able to put like everything that I have underneath there, but I would need to buy more furniture and money. So
yeah, it's tough, man. Give us money.
Anyway.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Let's get into this Haley Steinfeld news real quick. Apparently she's in talks for the role of Kate Bishop, or maybe Marvel Studios is eyeing her. I love Haley Steinfeld.
Oh, she's
and
great.
Everything that she does. So I support this.
Obviously, she's Gwen, but like I loved her in Edge of 17. I thought she was really, really good in that. I'm trying to think of like all of these, like any movies that I know her from. I think it's the only one. Oh, she was in Bumblebee.
She was in Bumblebee, which I have not seen.
I haven't either.
And she was in what's that singing movie with Anna Kendrick?
Pitch Perfect.
Pitch Perfect. Yeah, she was in Pitch Perfect 3.
Yep, you're right.
That's all I can remember her from. But Edge of 17 kind of won me over.
Yeah. No, she's really good in that. Haley Steinfeld.
And then obviously the fact that she's Gwen is just, it's awesome.
Yeah, she's in this new movie. She was in the True Grit remake? Okay. Yeah. She was also in Pitch Perfect 2, apparently.
Okay.
Ender's Game. I remember that movie.
God, man.
That movie came out in 2013. I'm old. I'm kidding. I'm not old. Yeah. No, I mean, a lot of these, there's stuff like it was when she was younger, but probably the most famous one. Wait, 3 Days to Kill. Was that's the movie with like Kevin Costner?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
And Amber Heard. Oh God, it's 27% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, no, she's actually like not as in much stuff as I thought she was.
No.
But either way, she's still really good.
It's
like,
just the fact that she's
was her
multi-talented.
defining. Yeah,
she obviously is like a huge, artist in terms of her music. And
yeah, she's a really big artist.
And in fact, she's a great actress,
which is bizarre. Yeah,
so, her as Kate Bishop, I think, is a pretty good fit. I'd be pretty interested to see her dynamic with Jeremy Renner. So yeah. All right, so let's get into this last bit of DC news that dropped over the week, which kind of caught a lot of people by surprise.
Yeah.
But apparently Tom Welling will be returning as Clark Kent and Superman. Is that correct? Or is it just Clark Kent?
I think it'll be Superman as well. I think they're going to do kind of like a triage of Superman. It's also the girl who plays Lois Lane in Smallville. She's also going to come back.
Okay.
It's going to be her and him. What is the actress's name? Was Erica Durance.
Okay.
Yeah. So she will be coming back as Lois Lane. Wow, she is really pretty. Yeah, no, so they'll both be coming back. And after I heard this news, I was like, honestly, really on board with it, because it's like I'm like weird. Like I have like small memories of Smallville when it was on when I was like a kid. Like I don't really have very in detail like memories of it, but I remember last year in the crossover they did like a thing, like an homage, where they showed Tyler Hoechlin's Superman, like the one that's in Supergirl right now, and like his Lois Lane or whatever. Like it goes to Smallville and it plays like the intro theme to Smallville, the like somebody save me or whatever. Like the one that's like, it's such a good intro, dude. And now you guys have a voice clip of me singing, not seriously, but you know,
I'm gonna keep it forever.
That's your ringtone. You're just gonna you're gonna be out in public and you're just like dude, we gotta put that on. All right, you know what, you guys on Instagram,
it's gonna have a picture of you. Oh my god, I gotta take a screenshot from that Spider-Man Snapchat thing you did, the Spider-Man 2 thing. I'm just gonna have like a screenshot as your picture of my phone with that as the ringtone.
You know what? No, right after that, I'm going to just do something amazing. You guys are going to be in for a treat. I'll probably put it on Instagram or something.
That'd be awesome.
I'll brainstorm it, but I'm going to do something with that song. Anyway, so it's funny, though, like, because of this announcement, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to watch the first episode of Smallville, because I've never seen it before. It's 10 seasons long, and that's what's kind of like prevented me. I've heard that it's really, like, I've heard it's like really bad and really cheesy. So I was like, but I'm like, I'm such a big Superman fan. Like, he's probably my favorite DC character besides like Batman Beyond. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'm going to give it a shot. And I watched the first episode, and man, the CG is horrible, and man, the dialogue is cringy, but I really liked it. And so I doubt it's going to get much better. Like, I'm sure there's going to be some like highs and lows, but I think it's just really cool to see like Clark Kent in high school. Like, I think that's just a super cool thing. Like, I feel like Clark Kent is one of those heroes that, like, you know, he's a lot like Peter Parker in the sense that, like, you know, growing up, he was still kind of like the nerd, and like he wasn't like a jock or anything. He wasn't like super popular. Like, he was kind of the average, ordinary guy. Yeah. Even though he's like, you know, blessed with these amazing powers, he's essentially a god. He's at the same time, he's still like the best of humanity. But he's also really relatable, and I guess that's maybe why I like Superman so much. But Tom Welling is so good as Clark Kent, even in the first season. Like, he embodies Superman, no doubt about it. So whenever this whole Superman thing happens with Brandon Routh as Kingdom Come Superman, and then his Tom Welling Superman and the other Superman, I like, dude. If it plays the classic Superman theme, like, I will lose my mind. If like,
for sure.
But God, I can't. I'm definitely watching that crossover, and I think I may watch some like recap videos to try to, like, I don't know, finish off
catch
like
up.
Arrow and Flash and stuff, if I even have time. But we'll see. At some point, I do want to finish Arrow and go back and finish those, because I just, like, I remember I was so invested for like 5 years of my life for that show that I'm like, I do miss it, even though it was so bad. I do miss it.
It sucks because, like, I'm not really a huge fan of CW's DC universe, but every now and then they drop things like this that makes me wish that I was invested in that universe.
It makes those moments so awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I remember in Legends of Tomorrow, one of the coolest episodes was like, it goes in the future of Star City. It was like Star City like 2040 or something, and they had like Connor Hawke as Green Arrow, and like Oliver had a robot arm. Yeah. Kind of like in the Dark Knight Returns, he was like missing an arm and everything. It was just, there was cool moments really like that, and it even teased like they hinted at doing Batman Beyond, which I was like, what? I was like, okay. I was like, if they do Batman Beyond, I'm sorry, you've got me back. Like, I don't care how bad and soap opera your show is. Like, I will go. I'm sorry, Batman Beyond, dude. Like, yeah, I think it's just really cool that they're like embracing this whole, like, their lineage with DC.
They do get to have fun.
Honestly, like they do a better job with, like, you know, these crossovers and stuff than like the movies have ever done. It's like it's just they have so much more freedom and flexibility.
I don't think they're restricted by a lot of it's like you said, freedom and flexibility. They're not really restricted with what they can do. Yeah, they just go for it. Yeah, and the fans embrace it, which credit to the fans, because they're the ones who allowed things like this to happen, because there's some massive, like, super fans of the CW DC universe.
Oh yeah,
like they're super fans.
No, I know.
Out there.
Like I mean, I was one of them for the longest time, and I mean, I think deep down, like, I probably still am. Like, The Flash was for a very long time, like, my favorite television show. Yeah, like the first 2 seasons were so good, and and then I eventually, like, kind of got a little older, but you know, it's like they're very much like, I mean, they're like they're like superhero shows for, like, teenagers, and I guess I liked them when I was a teenager. So I
don't know, I liked them in my 20s.
Yeah,
I like the first 2 seasons and the first 3 seasons of Arrow. So much that I actually spent like $55 on a Flash season 2 steelbook because I loved it so much.
You're nuts.
I know.
I could not pay that money. If it's on Netflix, I'm not paying money for it.
Yeah, I'm just a super big collector. So, like, in the steelbook artwork was, like, amazing. Yeah. But that's how much I enjoyed it. Like, if it was anything else that I didn't like, obviously I wouldn't get it. But yeah, and then it just kind of took a dive for me. Yeah,
it takes a big dive, and, like, I think so. I watched all of seasons 1, 2, and 3. Season 4, I watched half of it because eventually it got to the point where I got so sick of Ralph Dibny's fart jokes. He's like the elongated man. Yeah, he's just a stretchy dude. It just got so annoying, and that was like that was a rough season. That's for sure. Part of me wishes that I didn't drop off of it, but I just, like, I was like, I'm on to bigger and better things.
I know, they've really, like, embraced the cheesiness now.
Yeah,
unfortunately, but I mean, people out there like it, so that's all that really matters.
And you can really, like, when I was watching Smallville, though, you can really see, like, the lineage of, like, where they get that from. Right. Like, it's kind of part of, like, because CW is not like a high budget television thing, like, you know, AMC and, like, with their Walking Dead and Breaking Bad. And by speaking of Breaking Bad, I'm so hyped for El Camino.
Same.
Like, dude, anyway, separate thing. But yeah, it's like CW is they don't have the resources as many, but, you know, it's still, like, they do their best. Right. But I don't know. Well, I'm still excited for this crossover, but yeah, that's all I got.
I might check it out once it comes out. Maybe.
I watched the crossover last year, and it did a pretty good job of, like, explaining everything. So I'm not too worried about, like, the what's going on in the grander scheme of the universe. Like, it usually kind of keeps it narrowed down in its own little thing without having you, like, oh yeah, you have to watch all these shows. So yeah.
All right. Well, that is going to conclude this episode of the Comic Blast podcast. We are back officially. So we look forward to dropping more content. In about 2 weeks, we're going to have a Joker review. We're going to have a movie to review finally.
Oh, yeah, man. It's been so long.
We're eventually, you know what? Dark Phoenix came out on Blu-ray, so we'll get to that eventually too.
Hey, yeah.
If we get a chance.
You buying
it? No.
All right. Well, somebody send us Dark Phoenix, I guess.
If somebody actually sends us Dark Phoenix, we will watch it and talk about it for 2 minutes tops.
I'll go for a solid 5.
5 minutes. Okay. Grayson said that, not me. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. You can find us on social media at comicblast_. We're on Instagram and Twitter. We also have a YouTube channel that we're going to be dropping some YouTube videos on really soon.
Yeah.
I keep promising it, but it's going to happen really soon.
Yeah, I'm actually working on one right now that I think would be very worthy of the channel. So,
awesome.
So yeah,
cool.
Keep an eye out for that.
Awesome. Anything else I need to add, Grayson?
Shazam!